Today, we're going to talk to you all about our hidden income stream and how it really has provided us with tens of thousands of dollars worth of value over the past few years. And of course, we are talking about points and miles. So today, we really want to talk about how we actually got started in it, why we believe it's one of these lucrative income streams that we should all start investing time into, and give you some real concrete information and numbers as to how much you could possibly save.
Now, as you might have seen from our previous videos, we are traveling around the world. In 2024, we stopped working and being a numbers guy myself, I have to take into consideration how much are going to be spending with travel.
Yeah, I think points and miles for us really kind of happened accidentally. We never got into points and miles like a lot of people with aspirational trips to the Maldives and Bora Bora and overwater bungalows, which of course points and miles can really help you achieve those types of vacations. But for us, we were just trying to offset the expense that is travel. Those flight costs and hotel costs can really add up and at times really blow your budget. So we were just trying to find a way to extend the amount of time that we could spend traveling without breaking the budget.
Yes, and that's when we thought, what options do we have? As Christine mentioned before, it was kind of by accident. It was actually in our first trip.
Yeah, our first trip together. Second trip. Because the first trip together, this one sat in premium economy and I was in economy. And then we went to Brazil. It was a 10-hour flight. And I'm 6 foot and most of my height is leg. And so let's just say that economy seats are very uncomfortable for me. My knees really are sitting right in the back of that wire that runs along the pocket and the seat in front of you. It wasn't pleasant. Coming back from that trip, we decided the next time we went to Brazil, we really wanted to be more comfortable. And that's when we were in the process of really accumulating our first round of points and miles. And we booked our second time to Brazil in business class using points.
Yes.
And how much did that run? It was like 60,000 points a person with right around $120 in taxes and fees. And let me tell you, we loved it. A lie flat seat, the service was fantastic, the food was better, the drinks were better. And we arrived at the end of the day in Brazil far more rested and ready to enjoy our vacation.
Yes, and that's a really important point because sometimes the price that you're going to end up paying flying in economy, sometimes it might even cost less if you do fly in business class, using, of course, the points to offset the amount that you have to pay.
Yeah, because when you use points and miles, all you have to pay out of pocket is taxes and fees on that ticket. And those vary depending on airline and all that. However, the points you're earning, if you're doing it properly, are just coming through your regular everyday spending. So you're literally out of pocket taxes and fees versus the cost of an entire ticket. So I think a business class flight to Brazil runs around $2,000. So if we're only paying $120 out of pocket for a $2,000 flight, that's an extremely great value.
Yes, and going back to the numbers, I think it's important because you see a lot of people, as you've mentioned again, talking about like those aspirational trips. In our case, we are doing this, but the fact that we are able to offset the cost of our trips and by using points in our favor, it helps us quite a lot.
Yeah, and it's funny because a lot of people think that if you are earning points and miles, you're spending exorbitant amounts of money in order to generate these returns on your spend, if you will. And that's not the case. We generate all of our points and miles from our regular spend. We do not go over and above, go out and splurge on, I don't know, anything that wouldn't be in the course of our normal spending in order to earn these points and miles. It's just that our mentality changed and we thought to ourselves, there has to be a better way. Every time we spend money on something, we should be getting something more in return than whatever it is we're purchasing, whether that's a cup of coffee or a new refrigerator. you should get more than that cup of coffee in that refrigerator. And what that more is points and miles that are coming back to you as sort of a loyalty or a dividend on your spend.
Yes, and by the way, just to be clear, when you talk about points and miles, you're at the end of the day using credit cards, right? So you use our credit card. It's just to be clear, what the hell is points and miles? We do use our credit cards, and the fact that we are using the credit cards, it would allow us to pay for things that you have to pay no matter what. In return, we receive points and miles. Let's go through a few numbers that we were able to capture here.
So we didn't really start tracking too much. We just knew that once we hit the road running in 2024 on our full-time travel, we did have over 1.5 million points saved up. But we did start tracking in 2024. So we do have a few numbers for you guys. And this year we've been much better.
So in 2024, we received in total 640,449 points and miles.
Yeah, and that's just through our everyday spending and credit card sign-up bonuses. So some of these terms you may not be familiar with. There is going to be a freebie down below to kind of introduce everybody to this world of points and miles. It explains a bunch of the terminology and all of that goes along with it.
Yes.
But we do have more numbers from 2025. And I think these numbers are really going to demonstrate to you guys how powerful points and miles can be and why we truly see them as another income stream in our lives.
Yes, so we are recording this video at the beginning of November of 2025. So the numbers that are going to provide you is from January until October. So in total, 987,514 points and miles.
Yeah, of those 900,000 points and miles that we've earned year to date, 207,514 are just from our everyday spending. That's buying groceries, booking accommodation, whichever, right? The other 780,000 come from sign-up bonuses. And the sign-up bonus is when you apply and open a new credit card. Quite often the credit card company will say, hey, thanks for coming over. If you spend $3,000, $4,000 or whatever on your card in the first X number of months, we're going to give you this big chunk of points, right? And that's where the lucrative value really kind of like comes into this income stream if you can open these cards strategically in order to be able to use them to pay for your everyday expenses.
Yes, 100%. And we're going to show you how exactly we did it. In 2025, where have we traveled so far?
Oh my goodness. So we have traveled tens of thousands of miles. We have traveled 4 different continents. We've taken 15 flights, 8 buses, 3 trains, 2 ferries, and connected through a multitude of different destinations. We started in South America and have gone from Fortaleza, Brazil, to places like Buenos Aires, Mendoza. We've gone into Uruguay, back into Brazil, up to Mexico, back to Canada to visit family. From Canada, we've come to Europe.
Europe,
Greece, and then on to
Bulgaria.
Turkey. Yeah, Bulgaria, Turkey, and now currently in Chiang Mai, Thailand.
Yes.
A lot of travel in less than a year. So let's talk about it a little more. 5 of the flights that we have flown this year have been in business class. We generally have a rule that if the flight is 8 hours or longer, we try to book that in business class. Business class flights are extremely expensive. So looking at all of the travel that we have done this year and realizing 5 of the flights we've taken are in business class, how much have we actually spent on our world travel this year?
It's just over $4,000.
Yeah, $4,000 to do all of the travel that we have done. So let's break it down a little bit. All of our flights that we've taken, the vast majority of them have been paid for with points. So we have used 464,000 points and miles year to date in order to fly the majority of these flights. Those flights come with a sticker price of $21,398 US dollars.
So it's basically a 93% of savings by doing what we are doing. It sounds crazy. It sounds that we have like this lavish lifestyle, which is not the case at all. We travel full time. We do have a budget of $42,000 per year. if we were to only consider those flights, it's basically half of our budget, which of course we don't have it.
So you might be thinking, well, if you guys are using credit cards to generate all of these points and miles, you can't have just spent the 4,000 on travel. There has to be annual fees associated with a lot of these credit cards. And you are correct. So we're going to now get into the annual fees that we paid and why we think that paying those annual fees is extremely worth it.
Yes, first of all the numbers that you have been providing so far, it is actually in US dollars. As Canadians, we do have credit cards in Canada. However, we also have a few credit cards in the United States. In total, for the annual fees from all the credit cards that we have we spent $3,042.
Right. So that's a lot of money. You're thinking to yourself, I don't want to be out of pocket $3,000 just for some credit cards. But you're not. Because with a lot of these cards, you start receiving perks and different credits and insurances on these cards that do come in very useful and actually deduct from the amount of the annual fee. So when we look at the number of credits, like travel credits, insurance claims that we've made through these cards and been reimbursed for, etc., we calculated $1,070 that we've received back in credit, which drops the amount that we've paid in annual fee. But that's not all.
That's not all, because some of those credit cards are for hotels. As we travel full time, it means that we have to go through different hotels. It might be for one day, but sometimes it might be for a week. So it does depend on where we are. Basically, for those credit cards that we have an annual fee that we have to pay. However, with the annual fee, you end up receiving what we call a free night certificate, meaning that you're going to pay the fee for this specific credit card. In return, you can go and stay in those hotels around the world for free. It's it for free? Not really, because at one cost of the annual fee offsets the nightly rate that you have to stay.
But honestly, the rates of the nightly fees that we've been redeeming for far outpace the annual fee that we're actually paying. So we're actually getting more value than the annual fee with these free night certificates. So we've just done the annual fees on those credit cards, which works out to another $650 that we are receiving back as reimbursement for holding these cards. So in total, we're only out of pocket $1,321 in annual fees for these credit cards. And honestly, we're getting back more than that with lounge accesses and hotel status programs and all of these other things. So that number is actually much lower. But for simplicity's sake, we're going to say that every year we are sort of out of pocket around $1,300 in credit card annual fees.
But that's not all. The most important question is why all of these numbers matter to you, if you are retired or if you are planning to retire early.
Yeah, I mean, when we think about retirement, we're always concerned about our finances, right? Will we have enough money? Are we going to run out? Where's my next paycheck coming from? And if you can come up with a way that's going to generate a source of income that can offset some of those travel expenses and allow you to have those experiences when you have the time to enjoy yourself, why not? Like, it's almost a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you start generating these points and miles?
Yeah, and the way that we do see the points and miles is just like as a hidden income stream. It is an income stream because honestly, we are getting the points for things that we have to pay no matter what. And in return, we are piling them up and using them to offset our trips.
Yeah, the trips we've taken or the flights and travel we've done in this year alone is over $20,000 worth of value. And when you look at the number of points we've accumulated in 2025, if you take at least even the same value, even a little bit less, we're looking at over $40,000 worth of value that are locked into those points and miles. Nobody can tell me that that is not a valid income stream. That is a lot of money that can be used to propel you around the world into these great adventures.
All right, and you might be thinking, this is so good to be true. How come is it actually possible? It's just another video that you see on YouTube, and is it real?
Yeah, and we're going to tell you exactly it is real. I mean, you can see from the numbers we've given you, those are our numbers. Those are real, not made up, and they've brought us around the world. So today we're going to give you the quick steps that you need to start this for yourself. And don't forget, there is a document below that'll help explain a lot of this for you.
Yes, and the first one is that you have to see the points and miles as a return on your spending, not as a perk.
Right. And you're going to want to start with one solid rewards credit card. And we recommend choosing a card that has a flexible reward currency. So something like an American Express card, a Chase Ultimate Rewards card, an RBC Avion card, something like that. Those points can be transferred to multiple different transfer partners, and this will simplify your life a little bit.
Yes, and it's so good. You might be so excited, but one thing that we always remember is you have to pay the monthly spending in full. You cannot, and we should never, don't even start with these things with credit cards, points, and miles if you're not going to be able to pay the statements in full.
Yeah, and the real key to this entire thing is you need to put everything you spend onto a credit card. That's where you're going to get the additional return on your spend, that little bit of a dividend that the credit card is going to be paying you, right? So make sure every cent you spend is getting you something back in return by putting it onto your credit card. And then the fun part is tracking your points.
Yes.
See those points coming in, see that sign up bonus for meeting your minimum spend. And now all of a sudden, you have enough for a flight, potentially 2 or 3 flights, depending on where you want to go with you and your family.